Hi everyone, this is Abhiram Ravikumar. Welcome to the very first episode of Tales, Thoughts and Truths. Let me introduce myself before we dive in. I'm an author, a mentor, an employee at Postal Department, and someone who loves to reflect on the little things that shape our lives. Writing has always been a way for me to express myself, sometimes through stories, sometimes through thoughts, and often just by observing the truths around us. This podcast, Tales, Thoughts, and Truths, is my way of sharing those reflections with you. Think of it as sitting down with a friend. Sometimes I'll tell you a story, sometimes I'll leave you with a thought, and sometimes we will reflect on a simple truth that's worth remembering. After I published my first book, A Handful of Beginnings, earlier this year, I started getting a lot of questions. How do you write a story? How do you come up with ideas? How do you even get started? So I thought this podcast would also be a great space to explore those things. I would love it if you could share this with friends who enjoy stories, reflections, and real conversations. So, what can you expect from each episode? As the name suggests, every episode will have 3 parts. A tale, that is, sharing my experience, and sometimes a short story or something straight from my notebook. Second is a thought session, an idea or a question for you to reflect on. And finally, the truth session, a little fact or reflection to carry with you after the episode ends. My goal is to keep it simple, short, and meaningful, something you can enjoy during a coffee break or while taking a walk. Now, let me leave you with today's thought. Have you noticed how our fast-paced lifestyle is changing the way we pay attention? A lot of people say reading feels harder now, or even listening for a long time. I have a friend, for example, he watches every movie on 2x speed. I asked him, why are you even watching it then? And he said, some movies are boring. But the truth is, he does this even with good movies. So, what's happening here? Is it because of the way technology and social media are shaping our habits with these quick 1-minute reels and short videos? Or is this something unique to our generation? There's actually a word for this condition. Do you know what it is? I would really love to hear your thoughts. You can drop your response in the Spotify Q&A or message me on Instagram. And in the next episode, I'll share my take on it too. And here is today's truth. Since I work closely with books and stories, here's a fact I find really inspiring. Amazon, the global giant we all know, started by selling just one thing: books. And look at them now. That's the power of a book. Every big journey begins with something small. And maybe this podcast, starting small with just you here listening, will also grow into something bigger step by step. That's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning into the very first episode of Tales, Thoughts and Truths. If you enjoyed this, be sure to follow or subscribe on Spotify or wherever you are listening. Next time, I'll bring you my very first tale and also share my thoughts on today's question. Until then, stay curious and keep reflecting. This is Abhiram Ravikumar signing off. Thank you.